The government says tourism is booming, but international flights are half empty, luxury retailers are panicking, and entire cities are preparing for a devastating summer. So what's really going on? You've seen the glossy headlines. Record-breaking tourism revenue. America's golden age of travel. But behind the numbers, something very different is unfolding. Hotels are laying off staff. Tourist hotspots are cutting hours. Once bustling destinations like Las Vegas and New York are bleeding billions of dollars. And the scariest part, no one in power seems willing to admit it. While federal reports trumpet $126.9 billion in tourism revenue in just 6 months, independent experts are sounding the alarm. Julia Simpson, president and CEO of the World Travel and Tourism Council, didn't mince words. This is a wake-up call. The world's biggest tourism economy is headed in the wrong direction. This isn't just a slump, it's a systemic collapse, and the damage is accelerating. Why this crisis is much worse than it seems. Let's start with the numbers the government isn't highlighting. Las Vegas, America's entertainment capital, is in the middle of a brutal summer downturn. The slump is already costing the city billions, and the ripple effect is everywhere. Room occupancy is down, spending is down, and entire events are being canceled due to low turnout. But this isn't isolated. In Seattle, international visitors are down by nearly 27%. Portland's facing an 18% drop. Detroit, a city already balancing on economic edge, is seeing tourism fall off by over 17%. And the one thread that connects all of these? Canada. Canada has long been America's most reliable tourism partner. Millions of Canadians used to drive across the border to shop, eat, and explore. But this year, land crossings from Canada are down a shocking 28%. Air travel isn't much better, down 13.3%. That's almost one-third of an entire country's tourist volume, gone. And Europe? It's following the same trajectory. French and German travelers, once big spenders in cities like New York, Los Angeles, and Miami, are pulling back hard. Some reports show European tourism to the US dropping by 17% during what should be peak season. These aren't backpackers staying at hostels. These are high-value travelers who drop thousands at designer stores and luxury hotels. When they stay home, the effects ripple far beyond hotel lobbies. Restaurants see empty tables. Retail sees sluggish sales. Museums, theaters, and cultural institutions lose donors and foot traffic. And in smaller seasonal towns, where tourism is the economy, businesses are shutting down. Not cutting hours, not scaling back, closing permanently. Why the government says everything's fine? On paper, tourism looks like it's thriving. In early 2025, the U.S. Department of Commerce celebrated record-breaking visitor spending. Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick even declared that America is entering a golden age of tourism. But here's the trick. Those stats focus on total spending, not visitors. And when prices go up, as they have across airfare, hotel stays, and dining, total revenue can look strong, even if fewer people are actually coming. It's accounting gymnastics. A tourist who used to spend $2,000 and now spends $2,400 doesn't mean the industry is booming. It means inflation is doing the heavy lifting. Meanwhile, independent research firms like Oxford Economics and the U.S. Travel Association paint a very different picture. Oxford projects an 8.2% drop in international arrivals for 2025. The U.S. Travel Association says that if current trends continue, America could lose up to $21 billion this year. Let that sink in. Every 1% drop in international tourist spending costs the U.S. economy $1.8 billion. So why the disconnect? Because government agencies rely on inflated metrics and bundled data. Domestic travel gets mixed in with international. Higher prices disguise lower volume. And policy wins, like increased visa approvals, get more airtime than practical realities on the ground. There's a phrase for this: reality distortion. While Washington is clapping for the scoreboard, the stadium is half empty. So what's really driving this collapse? First, the strong U.S. dollar. Right now, the dollar is surging against nearly every major currency, And that's bad news for tourists. A dream vacation to the US that once cost $5,000 now costs 20–30% more before inflation. It's not just about the money, though. It's about how that money feels. When European or Canadian visitors compare costs, the US increasingly feels like a ripoff. That Paris to Florida family trip? Now it's cheaper to fly to Thailand, stay for 2 weeks, and still have money left for shopping. But price isn't the only problem. Jeff Freeman, CEO of the U.S. Travel Association, described a growing sense of fear among international visitors. And it's not about crime or politics. It's about border control. Reports of increased detentions, aggressive device searches, and travelers being turned away, often without clear reason, are spreading. Whether those stories are isolated or not doesn't matter. Perception is everything in tourism. If travelers feel unwelcome, they go somewhere else. Add to that the U.S.'s increasingly volatile political climate, trade wars, visa delays, travel bans, negative media headlines. These things don't just hurt diplomacy, they scare off high-paying customers. Aaron Ryan from Tourism Economics put it bluntly. The posture and policy around border security and trade have created sentiment headwinds. In simpler terms, travelers are saying, "Why go somewhere that doesn't want me?" And while America struggles with negative PR, other countries are stepping up. Spain and Japan are seeing record tourism numbers. Mexico is investing in infrastructure and marketing. Countries across Asia and South America are targeting young, affluent travelers with curated experiences at half the price, and none of the headaches. They're not just attracting tourists, they're stealing market share from the United States. Why this collapse affects more than tourism? The real danger here isn't just fewer hotel bookings or canceled Broadway shows. It's the ripple effect. Tourism supports more than just hospitality. It powers entire ecosystems. Retail jobs, taxi services, local farms that supply restaurants, museums, parks, and historic sites that rely on ticket sales. And don't forget tax revenue. Cities like New York and Los Angeles rely heavily on tourist spending to fund public services, transportation, policing, schools. When tourism collapses, local governments feel the pinch almost instantly. Even more dangerous, the reputational hit. For decades, America has been seen as the ultimate bucket list destination, the land of dreams. But every year of decline erodes that brand, and once trust is broken, it's nearly impossible to win back. Some cities near the northern border, like Buffalo, Niagara Falls, and Duluth, are already at breaking point. A single bad season can shut down a business for good. And unlike tech or finance, there's no remote work in tourism. If people don't come, the jobs vanish. Worst of all, this decline is accelerating. What began as a post-pandemic hangover has turned into a full-blown hemorrhage. Experts warn that 2026 could be even worse if nothing changes. When New York suffers, everyone feels it. Let's take a closer look at New York City, often referred to as the crown jewel of American tourism. Broadway theaters, iconic museums, Fifth Avenue shopping. These aren't just cultural landmarks, they're billion-dollar economic engines, and they're all hurting. Visitor numbers are down 17%. That may not sound catastrophic until you realize what that means in real dollars. In 2024, international visitors to NYC spent roughly $8 billion in just 4 months. A 17% drop? That's over $1.3 billion vanished in a single season. Broadway shows are seeing empty seats even during primetime weekends. Museum curators are slashing exhibit budgets. Restaurants once booked out for months now offer walk-in specials just to fill tables. And behind every closed sign is a small business owner who bet everything on steady tourist traffic and lost. As U.S. tourism slips into crisis, other countries are sprinting ahead. Japan introduced a fast-track visa system for 18 nations, slashing approval times to less than 48 hours. The result? A 34% surge in tourism revenue in Q2 of 2025. Spain launched a government-funded campaign targeting American and Asian tourists, showcasing their beaches, art, and wine regions. Tourism Minister Maria Reyes called it a soft power play. And it worked. Spain is now pulling in more U.S. visitors than ever before. Even Mexico, often seen as America's tourism underdog, is outpacing the U.S. in growth. With competitive pricing, simplified entry, and cultural packages that feel fresh and authentic, Mexico is becoming the go-to destination for Canadians, Europeans, and even Australians. They're not just attracting tourists, they're stealing market share from the United States. Let's talk about what happens if the trend continues. Aaron Ryan from Tourism Economics warned in a July 2025 report that if international visitation continues to drop at the current rate, 2026 could see losses exceeding $30 billion US. That's not just theoretical. If Canada's trend line continues, we're talking about nearly 10 million fewer visitors over the next 12 months. If European air bookings drop another 10%, major hubs like Chicago, Miami, and Los Angeles will face hotel vacancy rates not seen since 2020. And if emerging markets continue gaining momentum, the US may fall behind permanently, as they will no longer be the default dream destination for global travelers. This isn't just about economics, it's about global influence. Tourism is one of America's most powerful soft power tools. Every traveler who visits, falls in love with the culture, and returns home with good memories becomes an unofficial ambassador. They advocate for U.S. products. They engage with American media. They support the U.S. in global conversations. But when they stop coming, that influence erodes. And when perception shifts from land of opportunity to overpriced, overpoliced, and underwhelming, it's not just tourism that takes the hit. It's business, investment, and international goodwill. Right now, America stands at a crossroads. One path leads to recovery, smarter policies, stronger branding, better visitor experiences. The other, a slow, steady erosion of one of its most profitable, beloved, and culturally significant industries. The tourists are speaking, with their wallets, with their flight bookings, with their silence. The only question now is, will anyone listen? What the future demands. If the U.S. wants to reclaim its position as the world's top destination, it needs more than wishful thinking. It needs vision. That means simplifying visa processes, improving airport experiences, investing in cultural tourism, and, above all, treating every visitor like a future ambassador. Because in the end, tourism isn't just an industry, it's a reflection of how the world sees you. And right now, the world is looking elsewhere. Your turn. Do you think the U.S. can bounce back? Or are we watching a permanent shift unfold? Drop your thoughts below. Let's get the debate started. And if this breakdown helped you understand what's really happening, hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so you're always ahead.